Hey YouTube, it's Angela. We're going to do a soul guidance reading here on chaos. I think I've done some similar to these before. The way this one laid out may be a different path. And it's been a while, I think. I don't remember since I've read on chaos, but here we go. The first oracle that I'm pulling is coming from this Dreamweaver's Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. And the card I got is When the Storm Spirits Play. So this is asking us to trust the chaos, trust the volatility, trust the, blow-ups or the big sudden changes that come through. Especially if you aren't the creator of it. If it's something that comes into your experience, trust that. We tend to want to fight big sudden change or feel defeated by it or think our way through it and how to resolve it. But our first order of business is to get in touch with that place deep within you that kind of knows, I'll get through this. I can't see how, but I'll get through this. I've gotten through things like this in the past, that kind of a just knowing that it will pass. You will, emerge from it, maybe even stronger or changed. And that's not always a bad thing. If you think about it, storms and the physical storms in the sky, they have a way of clearing the air, right? Moving the clouds out of so we could see more. We have clarity. They could bust the branches off a tree, essentially pruning it and preparing it for more growth, the dead branches, taking seeds from plants and scattering them everywhere, creating more growth, right? So this is just a calling to trust that once this passes, there's renewal. And even in the midst of it, even in that high intensity energy, knowing that beneath it, there's a reordering kind of going on and a renewal coming through. That helps us to sort of stay in place, not fight it, not push to make it go away. It has its own energy, vibration, and movement that once we realize we're not controlling that, we sort of relinquish that need to get in there and fight it, right? Fight this change. This is all energetic. Remember, this isn't literal in your life. I pulled a couple Zen cards to go with that, and I got receptivity. Being willing to, receive that chaotic energy that's coming through, and with the knowing and the trust that it will pass. We don't need to receive it and cling to it and make it part of our energy. Just knowing there it is and let it flow and pass through us. And then on the other side of that, who knows, right? What's coming. And that's the kind of that sort of inner touching base with your inner self that I was talking about, just kind of knowing that what may develop from this chaos or this conflict or this horrible blow up may be better. It may be more, there may be more flow once this is passed. I pulled adventure to go with that. So this is kind of that same energy. Like, here we go off toward the rainbow light. Even though I'm in darkness now, I cannot see. I will go eagerly toward the next phase, toward that next development. Being in the dark, being in the storm, and once it clears, I will have a path forward. So this is just establishing that knowing within yourself to sort of not stay put and don't do a thing and stay or like paralyzed, but to within you, your energy within, to make sure that's got a strong foundation so that you can navigate through whatever's going on with the most amount of ease that's possible, which isn't always purely easy, but the most amount that you could summon. And that starts with your inner alignment. Then the next oracle I pulled, I got it from the Urban Crow. I've pulled this one, pulled from this deck before, and I got resistance. Talk about storm. See, the crow is like fighting in the wind, but if you observe the birds in the sky, when they get caught off guard by a gust of wind, sometimes it throws them off their balance, but they will always regain it and then, move through it with what is laid before them, right? They adapt. It's your ability to be adaptable. Yeah, there's a storm, and yeah, there's going to be some resistance, but where is the least amount of resistance? And that's the path I want to follow, right? I want to navigate through this with the least amount of fight so that I can, come out of the other end feeling it, at least for sure transformed, but hopefully in a positive direction, in a direction of growth. But it comes and then it goes. Remember, the storm will pass, but we need to be aware of how we're navigating our own energy through it. With that resistance, I pulled change. That's the whole energy of this storm, right? This is that constant change is always with us, right? And how are we going to experience it? If we're clinging to the outside, this is kind of a spinning wheel. And if we're clinging to the outside of it, no, I got to hang on. That's much more, that's not the path of least resistance. That's a path of kind of more chaos, right? But the calling for this card is to find that balance in the center where that yin yang symbol is, and rest in the center of it as much as you can, right? To observe as it moves and sort of wait and watch and see what happens instead of taking action right away. That helps you on your path of least resistance, is that energy of finding your center and waiting it out. Observe and wait. It's kind of the guidance there. And then I got conditioning, and this one kind of, at first I was like, wait, what? This is that story of the lion that grew up with a bunch of sheep and thought he just was one of them, right? Didn't know really much different until he went to take a drink from the pond and saw his reflection in the water and was kind of like had a identity crisis. It was kind of like, wait, this is how they see me. I'm not white and fluffy and soft and woolly, but I've been conditioned to feel like I'm one of them, but actually I have my own unique way. And this is kind of, I think with this resistance card, I kind of feel that this is a calling to hold an energetic mirror up to you, right? And consider how do I see myself? Do I see myself as someone who fights through change and finds the solutions right away so that I could try to minimize the outcome, the downfall? Or do I see myself as someone who can hold firm and not have to budge or make a move while the change happens? It's really how, and then it's inviting you to open up that perception a little bit. And maybe instead, I see myself as someone who can go with the flow with this change. I may not have been able to do so in the past, but now that I hold this sort of energetic mirror up to me, I see there's more possibilities. I have other facets of myself that I can engage during this chaos. It doesn't always have to be the same reaction. I guess that's what I got from this. And then the next oracle comes from Messages from the Light meditation oracle deck. And so in the midst of this storm, chaos, and trying to find the path of least resistance, I got grounding. Of course, we're always guided to ground at some point in one of our in all these readings, because that's where all the magic is. That's where all of your knowing is. Knowing I will get through this, knowing that Once it passes, there's more to experience, there's more growth, right? Those seeds have scattered, but now I get to renew. So this is just that reminder to make sure that your energy is grounded on a regular basis. We tend to live a lot in our minds. When you're living in your minds and using your thoughts and using, this is what I know, you're kind of not grounded. This is more of a physical, embodiment of your energy. And with that, I got turning in, of course. But this is also calling for not only just getting grounded physically, earth energy, but this is also water energy. So go deeper into your emotions, your feelings about this chaos, about that storm. That blow up created this deep insecurity within me, or a big amount of fear. And this guidance grounding is to be able to get in touch with that, embrace it, allow it to be there so that it will pass along, after you get your centering. I also pulled with that consciousness. This is using your higher self, using your intuition, your ability to see a bigger picture at play, and also that sense of knowing that all will be well once this chaos passes. So trusting the chaos means trusting your inner being to survive it, and on the other side of it, finding the growth, finding the adventure, finding that newness to move toward. So that grounding card came right in the middle of these oracles, and I love that because it kind of anchors the reading, but it also anchors your energy during this process. And then I pulled rituals. And this is that, and interestingly enough, the Zen card I pulled with it couldn't have been more perfect. But this is that once we're grounded, the chaos is still going, but it's almost like, because I'm not going to get caught up in that energy, I will go back to business as usual, make my bed, do the dishes, fold the laundry, have a conversation with a friend, have a cup of tea, listen, meditate and listen to what comes through. Finding ordinary processes that you can go about to kind of not ignore what's going on, but remove yourself from it temporarily, right? Maybe every morning you have a certain ritual. I have like my green drink, and then my my coffee drink, and then have a little bit of quiet time, breathe it out, and then start my day, right? So that sets the table for more stability. And that's what this is calling for. The grounded energy, then kind of ignore the chaos temporarily while you go about your regular life. Try to work on the clearing the mental. That's really hard, but that comes back to the grounding. Really work on trying to clear your thoughts about whatever this storm is that's in your life. And then I got ordinariness, and this is exactly the same as the rituals, kind of like, chop wood, carry water. And it gives you a sense of, not purpose, but a sense of, regularity. And yes, there's stuff going on over here in the sky. And at the same time, I can continue on with my regular routine so that my energy in the center of me doesn't feel like it's going to take off up in that storm as well, right? So pay attention to those normal, regular things that bring you comfort and security. And then I got integration. This is more balancing, but it's also taking all of it and letting it be within you, your past, your present, the chaos, the normalcy, the tempting feeling to resist, and then realizing I'm gonna find a new way. I'm gonna see myself in a new way with that energetic mirror and find another way to move through this chaos, even if it's just temporarily, or observing the idea of moving through it in a different way. It's just starting a path on something new by acknowledging all that has come before, all that's going on in your external world versus your internal world. It's just making sure that all the parts make the whole. And then the final card I got is flexibility. This is the willow spirit. Bend, yield, and find your power in having an awareness that to bend and yield and surrender is my choice. I'm choosing to yield to this. I'm choosing to back off from this big flurry of gusts that come through. I'm choosing to hunker down, or I'm choosing to just wait it out, watch and wait as it moves past us. Adjust to all that's going on. Don't fight it. And that's the beautiful spirit of the willow. You could have a willow tree and maybe an oak tree or another kind of a, sturdy tree that gets snapped, but the willow will always mostly, bend and move with the flow. There's no resistance there. And then I got guidance, and this is trusting your inner being, trusting your own intuition, and then also calling upon the divine for some guidance as well. That's incorporating your higher self, like we had that consciousness card, incorporating that into how do I cope with this chaos? Well, here's the best way in this moment. Here's the best way in the next moment, right? It's not a predetermined list of ways to make it through this. It's more, a unique set of decisions and choices and movement that go along with each unique chaotic experience, right? It's really trusting your inner being in the moment it's happening, whether to take action or not. This, of course, is after you've pulled in and grounded. But yeah, follow your intuition. This is one of the more important guidances, I think, is the guidance card, because within you have the answers, even though they're not reaching your mind or your brain or your determination that way. They're there. And so that watch and wait energy we talked about earlier will come in handy once, all the facets show up and all the ways to move past this show up. Trust yourself. And then the final card I got is healing. And that is what we're doing, right? We're on this journey to heal ourselves, to raise our awareness, and then use what we've learned and use what we've gained to move us forward again. It's all about finding that inner alignment, body, mind, and soul. And that does it. That helps us move through chaos in a new little way. Okay, I'm going to pull one more card just one more here from this Urban Crow deck. Kind of one of my favorites. I love how the author connects what's going on with crows and their routines and their habits, and relates them to our own, daily experiences. Whoops, oh boy, they always fly out when we're. Oh yeah, look at that! I got freedom. This is that sense of, even in the chaos, your inner being has the freedom to make the choices. I want to move in this direction. The chaos is here. I'm going to move around it a little bit. I'm going to hunker down and wait. This is that choice that we were talking about earlier. It's more empowering to see it as a choice, right? As far as, especially like with the resistance, and I can choose a new path. I can choose the path of least resistance. There's more power in that, and that leads to your overall sense of freedom. Love it. Thank you guys. And I hope this, resonated with some of you. And that's it. I'll see you next time.